Good evening, good evening, good evening. Um, hey, everybody knows it's the Leverage Show tonight. I am your guest host, Jamal Titus. Lambo, he amazed me last week because we've already been knowing that Lambo's voice has not been, up to 100%. So he spent a lot of time last week with us, actually more time than I thought he was going to spend with me and Ken. And unfortunately, he strained his voice even worse. So those that know the power of prayer, please keep him in your prayers. He's actually resting his voice for the next couple days at the very least, and so that he can hopefully be back in the saddle again next week. I just want to do a couple housekeeping things right before I bring our special guest on tonight. Number one, y'all know that he dropped 2 ebooks a little over a week ago. The one for the do-it-yourself credit, and then also the one for the business funding credit. All I'm gonna tell you folks is, I've been through Drew's program, and it's changed my life. It's changed a lot of people's lives. As a matter of fact, over the weekend, I was dealing with a 23-year-old client that I have. And in the year and a half of me working with this client, at 23 years old, they have access to over $60,000 in funding. And they're getting ready to do some things where basically they're going to be free to make all sorts of choices for their lives by the time they're 25. They'll be able to make multiple choices that, I wish I was able to do at 25 or at 30, but learning to do even now. But once again, that goes back and credits what Lambo has taught me since I went through his mentorship program, and then even the foundation of the Leverage Show, because he wants to share this information. He wants to share opportunities with everyone who is out there. So with no further ado, our special guest tonight is Don LePlume. He is going to be talking about his particular metaverse, which is called MegaVerus. And he's going to explain to us exactly what the metaverse is. So any sort of questions that you have, make sure that you drop them in. I'm looking at the chat here. And of course, shout out to everybody who is a regular viewer. We greatly appreciate you. And I'm going to tell you this, MegaVerus, the great positive is phenomenal opportunity. And with full transparency and disclosure, I am an ambassador for the project. So with no further ado, we're going to bring on Mr. Don LePlume. Don, are you there?
I am, Jamal, and it's an honor to be here with you. And I had a brief chance to speak with Lambo Drew, and that was truly an honor. And definitely praying for him, want him to be better, get that voice all the way back, and be here, because this is where he should always be.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all to him that we're even here this evening. So let's get into this. I guess the first thing to talk about is, what is the metaverse?
So there's all kinds of different views of what the metaverse is out there. Most people think it's some game, or it's a place that you go do gaming. You're in a headset and you're gaming. Metaverse is something completely different. The metaverse truly is like the fifth dimension, because it's a place where you can actually physically be, even though you're somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's almost tough to get your head around. It's like, yeah. But you literally, like, I'm sitting here at my desk, and as we're talking, Jamal, I could literally be also inside of the metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And communicating with people there. And that's a wild thing.
Yeah. That's actually, in the way, if I kind of understand it, it's almost like the next evolution of, technology, the internet, access to information. I almost see it also as we're individuals. We are, you have business entities that are considered an entity. and then now we've got the metaverse. Am I right when I'm thinking about it in that sort of a way?
You're 100% right. And let me take you back for just a minute, Jamal, because if you remember, when the internet first came out, businesses at the time thought, oh, this is just a fad. This is not something that's going to stick around, right? It's what's its purpose? And next thing you know, the internet's everywhere. It's part of our lives in so many ways. And then comes mobile internet, and then comes, Web 2.0, which was really e-commerce. And how important was that to the world these past couple of years, right? But now, when you think of the metaverse, the metaverse is truly part of Web 3.0. It's that next evolution of technology. But here's the thing, it's going to bring us back. Because one of the things that e-commerce did, especially these past 2 years, when we had, with the lockdowns and all this stuff across the globe, right? People didn't feel safe. They wouldn't go out. They wouldn't do different things. And what that's done is that sort of pulled socialization out of shopping. It pulled socialization out of how we live. I mean, think about, were there, everybody that's out there, were there people that you wanted to be with these past 2 years that you just couldn't be with? And the answer is yes, for pretty much everybody, right?
Yeah.
And so when you look at not just how we live these past couple of years, but also you look at e-commerce. E-commerce is sort of taken over all shopping. We just have stuff delivered now. It's all been about price and it's about convenience and getting it there. But what we lost Main Street. What we lost is we lost being together. I mean, how many times when you went out shopping with your wife, and as you're out with your wife, you're out there and hey, wait, there's John and Betty, right? There's Ken and his wife over there. Let's go grab some lunch, right? We grab a coffee, whatever it is. That was part of our lives, and it all went away. Well, guess what? The metaverse is about to bring that back in a huge, huge way.
Wow.
That's the next evolution of where we're going.
Wow. So you're saying that people now will be able to be connected, not the same as it was before these quarantines or lockdowns, but somewhere in between, as I've heard you say before, the boxes of Zoom and true person-to-person interaction. We'll just have a facsimile of it in the metaverse, but it can be almost real and sensation.
It can be. Now, some of the people are out there have looked at some of the metaverses that are there and said, hey, you know what? This is like Legoland, right? What is that? What do we want to do that for? That doesn't make sense. That's not the way that all metaverses will be. In fact, that's not how MegaVerus is. As we talk about MegaVerus and you learn what we're really doing and how we're changing it, it'll blow your mind at how realistic it can be. How many people out there have seen, and Jamal, I'm going to guess, you've probably seen the movie The Matrix. Have you
Correct.
seen it?
Yes,
all of them. All right. And when you saw The Matrix, it's like, wait a minute, this is kind of wild, right? I don't ever want to have us where we're getting unplugged from something. I want to actually be there with people, right? I want it to be real. But when we're in a space right now, like when you're in a room, you go to a conference, you go, I'm flying down to Florida for a conference that I'm speaking at on the metaverse. This is beginning of June. And so I'll be in the room with hundreds of people that I'm speaking with. At the same time, I'm going to be in the room with thousands of people in the metaverse because that event is a hybrid event. So literally, I'll be on stage as an avatar, looking very similar to how I look. All right. I mean, very similar. But I'll be speaking with thousands of people from across the globe. And you know what? They could be in the UK, they could be in Australia, they could be anywhere in the US or Canada or South America. But you know where they will be? They'll be in the room with me.
Wow.
That's a powerful concept.
That is. And it just shows that the world is more connected than what well, it's always been connected, but it's more connected and realistic to us. So that brings me to my next question. Tell us about MegaVerus. How did MegaVerus come about?
Well, you know, it's an interesting story. So I'm glad you asked, because I love telling this part. And I'll keep it short because I could go pretty in depth there. I'm not going to do that. But here's the thing. MegaVerus came out of a whole separate company. I launched a publishing and education company. And when I launched that company, the whole purpose is really to change education both here in the United States and also globally. All right. And that, when I say change education, I'm not knocking teachers when I say that. We've got teachers that work incredibly hard, but they're up against some really tough conditions. They don't have all the funding that they need. And there's all kinds of other challenges in education itself. Here, all right, I looked at, all right, let's figure out, how can we really teach? How can we help kids to learn better, learn more, learn faster, and in a more equal and a better environment? And because, I mean, you got some school systems that are very well funded, some that are not funded at all, and everything in between, right? Not just here in the US, but across the globe. So how do we change that? Well, the way to change it is to have a system that anybody can plug into. Doesn't matter the language that they speak, the location on earth that they're in, but where they can go and they can get the education that they need, the quality education, and be able to learn in the way that they were meant to learn. So think about this one, Jamal, right? We know that kids learn in different ways. They learn visually, right? People, we as humans, we live as adults, we learn visually, we learn auditorily. So some of us need to hear things. Some of us need to see things. Some of us actually need to experience things. All right. We have to feel things tactilely. And so when I was looking at, when I launched that other company, I was looking at how do we change education? Kept coming back to one thing. We need to keep people engaged and help them to learn in all of the ways that they learn. And that is a huge power of the metaverse, because in the metaverse, it's already been proven. There's been studies that have been done on this, where people learn faster when they're in the metaverse. Okay, they retain the information longer, and they actually grasp more of that information. So think about that. If we can help kids to learn faster, retain more, and hold on to it longer, is that beneficial to them?
It is. It's
Yeah.
truly beneficial. And that got me thinking about a book. I know last week we mentioned about a bunch of books, but it remind me of a book called The Underground History of American Education. And when you really start to understand what, our educational system's about, and then, if most children don't fall into the category of, learning like the majority does, they get left behind. But if I'm understanding you correctly, through this metaverse experience, this could be the leveler to help students learn the way that they need to learn and what's most effective for them. So,
yeah, 100%. You're right.
And that's huge, because all of us can contribute, make contributions.
Yes.
I just want to do a couple shout outs before we get a little too far ahead in, the program. But we got Renata has, clapped her hands here, and we got Kennard Haney. He's out here shouting us out. Thank you so much, Ken, for last week, and even your support. I should mention too, Ken's an ambassador with this MegaVerus project also. So if you subscribe to his channel, he'll be talking about it on his YouTube channel also. We have Miss Waters on. I think she might be a first time commenter on one of the programs. So shout out to you. We got Tracy there. Good evening to you too, Tracy. We also have, let me see who else we got here, because Law. Happy Tuesday to you also. And folks, do put any sort of questions that you may have in the comments, and I'll make sure that I ask Don about this. But this metaverse, we have an opportunity to get ahead of the curve because things have not really totally fleshed out as of yet. But getting back to this MegaVerus, what does MegaVerus stand for?
MegaVerus stands for the great positive. So mega, huge, big, great, and verus is Latin for positive. So it's the great positive. And it's going to have that kind of impact on the world.
Okay. So how is it going to be greatly positive in MegaVerus? What do you envision in the space?
So I absolutely love that question. So let me first describe really what MegaVerus is. So when we look at the metaverse itself, there's, like I said, there's lots of different versions of what the metaverse will be. It's not one thing. You know, in the real world, I guess you could say, we sort of live in our universe. Well, the metaverse is even bigger. And there's going to be more diversity, more options, more things out there, and more ways for us to experience life, which is pretty wild just thinking about that. But when you get into what is going to happen inside of MegaVerus, it's very different. So I encourage everybody, check out some of the different metaverses that are out there. You'll have some that have sort of like cartoon characters as avatars. Some look sort of like, you went out to Legoland and that's all great. I mean, it's just their style and their design. There's nothing wrong with that at all, right? With us, with MegaVerus, we chose to go very realistic. We wanted to be almost just a little bit below cinema quality, right? And the whole intent of that is we want people to feel comfortable being there because we, meaning MegaVerus, is a family-friendly, commerce-driven metaverse. So what that means is, first of all, it's family-friendly. So the stuff that you're going to find there is safe for kids. It's safe for adults, right? It's not going to make our grandparents blush. Very important, all right? But at the same time, it's designed for business. It's designed for productivity. And it's designed to help people to reduce the amount of time that they have to work, but actually get more done. When I say productivity, I mean productivity. The functionality we're building into this is going to be amazing.
Is there anything about the functionality that you could share with us tonight?
I'll share one piece. There's a lot that I cannot share yet. We have been under development. Our full opening day is actually October 1st of this year, 2022. And we are moving very rapidly towards that time. Now, the one cool functionality I'm going to tell you about is this. When you go and you're inside of MegaVerus, I might even tell you two things, just for the fun of it. All right. So the first thing is, how do people get into the metaverse? Most people think, well, hey, you know what? I've got to be on a headset, or I've got to be on I've got to go into certain computers, and I can't get in there on every computer. I don't know how to set it up. It's confusing. And when you go into a metaverse, you don't necessarily know where you're ending up. It's like, what do I do here? You look around. Well, what we've designed is a metaverse that's accessible, yes, of course, from headsets, but from PCs, from Macs. It's very easy to get into. So when you get in, this is how easy it is. You go to one of over 100,000 doorways, okay? And I'll define that in just a minute, all right? I don't want to confuse it. But you're going to go to one of these doorways, and when you go into these doorways, you're going to give your avatar a name, and you're going to get a chance to pick. So we've got sort of 30 stock avatars that you can just pick and go in with, or you can create your own. All right. So we make it very easy to go in and explore and say, hey, what's this all about? Can I check it out first? All right. Because that's what we want people to do. Check it out. So when you go into MegaVerus, yeah, you'll give us the name of your avatar. So my avatar's name would be Don, right? I put my first name in there. You put your email in so we can send you the link to create your avatar should you choose. Nice and simple. And you click to enter. And it's that simple. So once you go in, now you open up in a beautiful park. And it is a beautiful park. I mean, our trees look real. They're moving in the breeze. I believe you've seen the park, Jamal, and it's very detailed because we wanted it to look real. And our avatars, when you go to build out, when you go to choose your avatar, you can have one of three choices. And our highest end avatar looks human. I mean, it looks really, it's not like a cartoon character. They're all full body. Everything is, legs, arms, full motion. Because if you're going to drive commerce, if you're going to experience things in there, and you're going to be with friends and family, you want to feel like you're with friends and family, and they're all there, right? So this experience is very easy to get into. And the other thing is I mentioned doorways, right? We actually have some really cool exclusive contracts with some different organizations. There's one, it's a digital business card that's actually out of the UK called Go Paperless. Awesome company, great owner. Barry's the owner there, really great guy. What they've done is they have on each of their digital business cards a link. Every single one of the digital business cards has a link that goes, it's a doorway right into MegaVerus.
Wow.
When a business owner, let's say there's a car dealership there that says, hey, I want to have my dealership in MegaVerus. Well, they can do that. All right. Now think about, I don't know where you are, Jamal, as far as your location, if there was a problem getting new cars at the dealerships in the past couple of years, past year especially. Where I am, I'm up in the Northeast, and we had car lots empty. All right, brand new car lots are just empty. They couldn't get the cars, and yeah, it was a wild thing. It's like, are they closed? No, they weren't closed. They just couldn't get any new cars. It was amazing. So when a business is in a situation like that, they can't sell this stuff. So how do they do it? Well, people would still come in, they'd do some special orders, and they'd order the cars, and those cars would eventually come in and they'd get their cars. But it made it very difficult for them to do business. Now that car dealership has a storefront inside, a whole dealership inside of MegaVerus. People can come in right through the business's website. So not just from the Go Paperless business cards, but actually from that dealership's website, there's a box that says, hey, come to our virtual showroom and actually walk around the cars, get in the cars, view the cars, and you can get your questions answered by one of our MetaVerse specialists.
Wow.
And so now people can go, they click on the button, and they literally, this is the MetaVerse, right? We said it was the next evolution of the web. This is literally you walking into the website. That's what really happens. That's the easiest way to visualize this if you've never been there. It's you walking into the website, and now you're actually walking through spaces. You're talking with people that are physically there in a virtual space.
Wow, that's incredible. We got a couple questions. I don't want to get too far ahead. Number one was asked by Tracy, who can be involved with MegaVerus?
So really anybody can be involved with MegaVerus as far as if they choose to get land. We've got a few different positions. So we're hiring right now. We're hiring feverishly for programmers. So if you happen to be a C++ programmer, we're looking for you. We have a lot of programming positions. We have creator positions. We're actually training people to be creators in the metaverse, to create space, to create three-dimensional objects and assets. So you can be involved that way. And so we have a whole training system that you can enroll in and be part of, and then start to do the work. You can also become an ambassador. If you said, hey, you know what? I see where the metaverse is going. I want to help to promote it. I want to market it, and I want to hopefully profit from that. And that's something you can do. So you could be an ambassador with MegaVerus and with Rhino XR Studios. Or you could say, you know what? I've got a business on my own. I'm not really looking to do something different. I'm looking to build my business in a huge way and really make it future proof. I want to make it so I can never, ever, ever get locked down again. And so you want to build a retail store, a service location, whatever it is. I can tell you some of the. We'll save that for later, but I can tell you some of the different types of businesses that people are already building inside of MegaVerus. It's wild. So there's lots. Bottom line is, Tracy, there are a lot of ways that you can be involved with MegaVerus and Rhino XR Studios.
Yeah. And there is a link at the very top of the chat to get information and to come through. Also, that's one of the reasons why I got involved back in March, was because it's not only just an opportunity to make commissions on, helping people get into the metaverse, to create spaces that can be customized, to do commerce in that space. But the Rhino XR Studio site actually has a lot of education to teaching people about what the metaverse is, also how to create your own metaverse.
Yes.
And one thing I don't want to gloss over is when you were talking about the avatars, because I've seen some avatars like for Meta that Facebook is doing, and there's a huge difference. I think they don't even have legs. They look like bubbles, and then you got the sandboxy type avatars, like you said, Lego. But when you go and you check out the site for XR Studios, Rhino XR Studios, and go to the MegaVerus tabs to get information, you'll be able to see even a short clip of what the space is actually going to look like, because it's already designed out. And folks, I'm gonna tell you, you can see your eyeballs, just like I'm blinking my eyes. The avatar that they have in this I don't want to call it a model, but in just a sneak peek, it is very advanced. It's not cartoonish at all. And like you said, it's not quite, you forget where you're at, sort of a detail. Hyper realistic is what they call it. It's not hyper realistic, but it's just below that. And I just love it because, me with all this gray, I'm not trying to go into the metaverse and feel like, it's an escape. I still want to be in real life. But it's kind of like, and I'm gonna share this real quick and I'm gonna shut up. It's kind of like when I went to see Avatar in 3D back in the day. I told my wife, I was like, when I go to the movies, I want to go to the movies and watch the movies. I don't want to feel like I'm a part of the movie. I don't want to be, that's not the experience I'm looking for. Everybody has their own choices. But for me, I want that clear line between reality and fiction, because people have a hard enough time making a distinction between the two. But the other thing too, Ken had a question about how do you get access to those business cards?
So you can actually get access to the business cards through, we have a link that actually it's about to be on the Rhino XR Studios site. We actually have several different systems that are going to be there. We've been doing contracts with a lot of really incredible companies. And so that is a great card that you'll have. Um, and yeah, so just go to the, you'll see it on the Rhino XR Studios site within the next probably 3 days. But we'll make sure we get that to Ken. But if you went before, it's Go Paperless, and that's the name of the company, and they're out of the UK. Just I've looked at a lot of digital business cards. There's not a better one on the planet.
Wow. Okay.
I'm telling
We
you.
got a few more.
Yeah.
We got a few more questions I want to get to. It says, from Renata Johnson, that's Lambo Drew's better half. She
Wonderful.
says, what expense may I need to participate?
Well,
So I guess maybe the difference between, how they want to get involved, whether real estate agent, ambassador, what are the different options, Don?
So if somebody wanted to simply sell land, okay, land in virtual spaces is really hot right now, and it's going to continue to stay hot for a long time. There's a limit to the amount of space that's inside of MegaVerus. All right, it's a huge community, but there's a limit to that size. So to become a property agent, someone who can sell that land, is $100 one time. Really simple, and you can sell as much of that land as you choose until it's all gone. All right, and we've got quite a few different property agents out there. Somebody wanted to be an ambassador, it's that next level. And so ambassadors actually get to not just sell land, but really sell experiences. And so this is where, Jamal, you come in and you're talking with a potential client. And I love using the example of my Italian restaurant. You've probably heard me say this, but I'm going to share this with everybody because and the rest of the world will hear this and somebody's going to copy it. But just remember, you heard it here first, folks, on the Lambo Drew show. All right. So here's the thing. Ambassadors can sell experiences inside of MegaVerus. An experience is something much more than land. Okay. Here's an example of an experience. We have restaurants inside of MegaVerus. They say, well, wait a minute, this is on a computer. How am I going to get food and eat food in the metaverse? That doesn't make sense. Well, I'm going to tell you how, and I'm going to tell you why it matters. Okay. Because this is the future, folks. This is changing. It's going to change our lives. All right. In more ways than we can possibly imagine right now. So picture yourself, my favorite kind of food. I'm not Italian. All right. Not that I know of in my heritage, but I can tell you my favorite kind of food on the planet is Italian food. Okay. So picture yourself at a really high-end Italian restaurant and you're there with some friends, and maybe, I'm from the Northeast United States, right? Maybe you've got a friend and his wife from, let's say, Ohio, and another couple friends from, let's say, California, and then some friends from Canada, maybe even some friends from Australia, right? And you haven't seen them in years, but you want to get together. Well, guess what? Inside of this Italian restaurant, you can get a table and all of you can meet. You can all come together, literally sit across the table from each other and break bread together. All right. Now, wait a minute, Don, you said you're going to tell us how we can eat in the metaverse. Okay, let me tell you how this works. So when you go in for this experience, right, you're all sitting around the same table. You're looking at each other, just like we're looking at each other right here, right now. And when you're looking at each other, you're able to look down, and the menu is more of a digital menu. So literally, you can place an order for food in our system. All right. And so this is an exclusive system that we have. I don't know that it exists anywhere else out there on the planet or in the metaverse. But so you order food right from our system, and all of a sudden, maybe 30 minutes later or so, it gets delivered to your house. Okay. Or your office, wherever it is that you are located. It knows, because you gave it the information. Okay. It knows, okay, I'm in, Lebanon, New Hampshire, and this is the Italian restaurant I'm ordering from. Okay. Because I know what's good in Lebanon, New Hampshire, because that's not too far from where I live. Right. So I'm like, all right, perfect. That's great. So I order what I want. You order what you want. And maybe our friend from, let's say California says, you know what? I like Thai food instead, right? So they get Thai instead of Italian. But you know what? We're in the same room. The ambiance is this beautiful Italian restaurant, but when you look around, it's like, wait a minute, you know, the music's great, everything is great, but that's odd. There's a wall missing, right? And you're like, why would there be a wall missing? So you can't do this in real life, but you know what? You can do this in the metaverse. That wall that's missing, the reason the wall is missing, it's so that you can see the canals of Venice right there. Okay, you're looking at the canals of Venice and you're saying, wow, that is absolutely wild. Look at that. And you know what? Let's go over. So you finish eating, you have dessert, you know, coffee, whatever it is, and all of a sudden now you go over, all of you go over, and now you see this gondola coming by, and there's a person with a pole, you know, moving it and singing, and you and your wife get in the gondola and you go for a ride. That's an experience that you're not going to get unless you actually went to Venice, or maybe Vegas, right? But outside of those two places, you won't experience that unless you're in MegaVerus. You know, until some copycat does what we've already done. But you know, think about that. That's powerful. Think about this, right? This is why I'm so excited about what we're doing, because, and I'm sorry, because this really gets off of her question. But there's so many different ways. I mean, you can sell those experiences, was the whole point. If you want to become an ambassador, that's where I was going. That sort of answers that question. You could also buy land, or you could actually have experiences built out. You could be the owner of this Italian restaurant if you chose. Okay, so you could actually get compensated every single time somebody goes and rides those gondolas. All right. That's part of a business that you could actually have inside of MegaVerus, because this is a commerce-driven platform. And I told you its essence, where it started was education, because we're going to change education globally, not just in the US, but globally. And so all of this commerce, that's part of how we're funding that system, that educational system.
Wow.
But these experiences are things that, you know, think about, you know, where you live, what the cost would be for you and your family to fly out to Italy, go to Venice, go to a restaurant out there, and have that kind of an experience. It's not inexpensive at all, is it?
With me, my wife, and our 10 children, that would probably be close to 20 grand for a few days.
Yes.
So, yes. So I can see where the metaverse and MegaVerus could be a more cost-effective experience having space.
Yes.
Wow.
And no jet lag.
No.
You go right in and you enjoy the space, and you've got people from across the globe. Look, I'm working with people who run event centers, and these event centers, they're like, you know, these past couple of years, when they heard about what we're building here, and they said, you know, these past couple of years, we've lost so many events because of the pandemic. But now that things are starting to come back and people are starting to meet, people are still apprehensive about meeting. They're not coming together. We've got family that would love to come to a wedding or love to come to an event, but they're in another country, they can't travel, they're scared to travel, whatever it is, but they want to be at their granddaughter's wedding, right? They want to be at these places. Now they're actually able to do those types of things right in MegaVerus.
Wow.
And communicate. They could actually, not even on a headset, because remember, with MegaVerus, you don't need a headset. It's great if you've got one. And by the way, we got some incredible ones about to come out. I'm just a little secret there. But you don't have to have a headset, because you can use a computer. You can actually get into this on a mobile browser. Okay. It's not as much fun, but you know what? You can get in there. But if you've got somebody, maybe there's somebody that's in a nursing home that cannot, you know, we haven't been able to visit with them for how long, right? Now we can in a lot of cases, right? But there's extra precautions, as we should take. But think about that. All right, all of those people, they could actually be put in front of a computer and actually see their family. Not in a Zoom way where you're squares on a screen, but actually where you can get in there and you know, if the nursing homes actually had headsets, think about this. They would literally be at the table when their granddaughter, I'm just using the granddaughter example, is blowing out her candles for her birthday.
Wow.
Think about the power of that, how we can bring people back together in a safe way. All right. And think about education. All right, because this is where this all comes in. I mean, some of the experiences that you're going to have. I mean, you can't, Jamal. I'm sorry. You're going to. I was thinking about Ken, by the way, earlier, because in the last show that you guys did, and I know this is a tangent, but I got to share this. All right, Ken talked about a book that I have not heard anybody else talk about in a very long time, but I've read it many times. In fact, it's on my phone even, and it's The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, I remember
Our favorite. Yep.
somebody else knows about this incredible book, right? I thought that was awesome. So, sorry, I had to hit that tangent because that's where my head was. But this is going to bring people together. But when it comes to education, it is going to change things because now kids can go in and first of all, think about this. What is the scariest thing for a kid to do or to learn to do when they're in school? It's like maybe give
No,
live presentations.
yeah, I was going to say for me, public speaking.
That's it, public speaking. A lot of kids really have a tough time with that for lots of different reasons, right? And now they're going to be able to go in and learn public speaking, but they're going to go in as an avatar that they've chosen, by the way. Could be a really cool, they could be a robot, or they could really be, they could be themselves, right?
Yeah.
But with their hair perfect and, whatever it is. But look, they get up there and they're up on stage. And this will blow your mind when you see kids that won't say a peep in front of two people, never mind a crowd, but they'll get up on stage in the metaverse. And when they're speaking, their heart comes out. It's amazing. All right. Because their inhibitions are gone. They're not self-conscious about who they are or whatever it is that held them back, right? Or scared them in any way. What are people going to think, or whatever people think there. What they are thinking is, this is really cool because I'm standing here in an avatar. I'm talking with them, and everybody in the room is all an avatar. So it's just a whole different experience. Kids are loving it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm thinking back to the first time I had to give a report in middle school, and it was tough for me. And then I got teased about it. I'm not going to go into why I was teased, but it was a traumatic experience for me. And then the next time I remember is in high school, I was giving a report in biology class, and the headmaster of the school was actually in the class, and I'm sweating like I'm running up and down the basketball court. So, to where I am now and how comfortable I see now, where even this metaverse for a lot of people in a lot of cases is going to be a safe space, a space where they feel like they can make some mistakes, they can do some things that are not, I guess, life threatening or, as scary as if they were in the real world. But I'm getting to some more of these questions here, and then we're going to get back to talking about MegaVerus. But Law asked, for the creators opportunity, do you need any certifications or a degree?
Well, you're actually going to get a certification from us. So you don't need there are no prerequisites. You just simply need to have access to it. You don't even have to own the computer. You just have to have access to a computer where you can download some software that we'll recommend to you. And then you can go through all of our tutorials. And our tutorials, by the way, are in the metaverse. So you can actually take the courses inside the metaverse, or you could take them on a sort of like an e-learning platform that we have. So whichever way you choose. So there are no prerequisites. You just need to really want to be able to do it and have access to a decent computer.
Okay. Okay. And then Ken had a question. Not sure if you're familiar with this other MetaVerse project. Have you ever heard of a project called Everdome by chance?
Everdome. I'm not sure that I've heard of that one. I'll have to check it out. There's
Okay.
so many of them out there, and there's more popping up all the time.
Okay. So we'll bypass that one. You know, Ken's getting a little more technical since he's all advanced and stuff. No. But I can tell you one thing that I do know about the difference between MegaVerus and Everdome. Everdome's supposed to be more of a hyper realistic project that takes place on Mars. So their space they're selling is under a dome in Mars. That brings me to the point of, so what's unique about MegaVerus? What's that space based on?
Well, first, it is, like I said, it's family friendly, but we made it very realistic. Again, not hyper realistic, just below, all right, because we are based on commerce. So this is all for businesses. This is real life transactions. We're literally bridging real world and the metaverse. That's what we're doing. And so we will change how business is done, but doing it in a realistic way and doing it in a way that will it's literally going to change lives, because it's going to give kids and adults a much better way to learn. It's going to give businesses a way to protect themselves, but yet really do business in a whole different way. All right. And with us, one of the biggest things that separates us is how you access us. One, like I said, it's very simple. Two, we have over 100,000, it will eventually be over 1 million doorways into our space. Think about that. You'll be able to get there from almost any device at almost any time, really at any time. And the other thing too is our spaces, we've really designed this. When you go hyper realistic, when you go really, really realistic, you run up against a couple of challenges. Okay. And people will learn about some of the things we're doing. I don't want to give away all the good secrets because we get some cool stuff. But one of the biggest things that you run into is you can't make a space too heavy. What that means is, like, the graphics of that space, if they're really, really, really good graphics, it weighs on the end user's computer or headset. And so there'll be a lag. You won't get very many avatars in space. There's challenges there. Okay. So you need to design a space that looks good, but is very functional. And that functionality is key. Okay. So our designers have put together a system that allows us to get a lot more avatars in one space. All right. We can, this is wild. The way we're set up, we could literally get upwards of 5 million avatars. Think about that one. Think through that number. I want to talk about something in just a second that ties to that. 5 million avatars all in a space. Now, you won't see all 5 million. Please understand that, because that would crash every computer out there. Yeah. All right. Every computer that I know of, anyways. Maybe there's some supercomputer that I really need to know about, but pretty much any home computer that would crash. You couldn't have that many. So the metaverse has to be built in a way that allows people to access the information, be in a room with the people that they choose to be in the room with, be in the world that they choose to be in the world with or experience, and be able to communicate and talk and all of this stuff, but without being a problem for the end user's computers, right? So there's a lot of work that goes into that. And especially when you go hyper realistic, it makes it very difficult. So we've done this in some pretty unique ways, which I'm actually not going to go into all of those here because we've got some trade secrets there that people find out about, but you're going to see it here first. That I can tell you, and it's going to rock the world. Okay, so that's one big thing. Is it's how do you get more people in? All right, how do you get more people together? How do we bring back socialization? Right, that's critical to society. I don't care if you're an introvert. You want to know that there's at least people around you. You don't necessarily want to talk to them, but you want to know that there's people around you, right?
Yeah.
You don't want. None of us want to be alone.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I'm hoping I answered that question. There was a lot there that.
Yeah. Ken has been dominating the feed here, but he said just to catch up on a couple different things. I would never have known public speaking was a fear. Looking at my guy, yeah, it was a fear for me. He even mentioned something about Dale Carnegie 2.0. Wow, Don, thank you for that vision on public speaking and how big a dare or dream it is. Dare it is. La Law says, wow, that's amazing. Thank you. Definitely a great opportunity. Now, Ken, you got me. I don't even know if I want to try and say that word. As can MegaVerus change the average working class life? I guess somebody was asking, can MegaVerus change the average working class life? Can you answer that one?
I can, and the answer is a resounding yes. And let me tell you how. All right, I love that question. I can't pronounce the person's name, so I'm not even going to attempt it. But here's how we will change the average working class life. All of us. I mean, we all put our pants on the same way. We're all human, right? But going back to just even the example of the restaurant that we talked about earlier, and the cost to go and go through the canals of Venice, right? That's pretty difficult. Inside of MegaVerus, you will be able to ride rhinoceros. Okay, Rhino XR Studios. We have to have rhinos there, of course. We've got a full African safari. Think about the traveling when you've got a space that is very realistic, but yet safe. Okay, and you can bring your family in at a very low cost, explore things that look real. You can walk along the African plains, and you can see the animals out there. You can see what's really happening. You can get up close and actually see things that you would never get a chance to see. And because it's so realistic and you're there together, you can both learn from that, but you can also experience it. So people will have experiences that they never could have. I don't know if you've ever, here's another one, right? I don't know if you've ever wanted to skydive. It's always been a goal of mine. My wife doesn't want me to, but I will skydive, right? I have skydive in the metaverse. Yes, you can do this, right? Picture this. Right? I had somebody that asked me several weeks ago, hey, Don, are you going to have an airport in MegaVerus? I said, well, actually, why would we have an airport in MegaVerus? I asked the question. And she's like, well, you're going to need to, people are going to fly somewhere. What if they want to skydive, right? And I said, well, that's a great point. Everything in MegaVerus, even though we're a big city, we're a community that's very close and tight knit. And in this community, you get everywhere via portal. We've got the most incredible portals, and our portals are very unique. I'm not going to get into why, but trust me, when you experience what's coming in the MegaVerus portal system, you'll be blown away. But how about instead of having to take a plane up and jump out of a perfectly good plane, even the metaverse, instead you take a portal that brings you to a platform that's 5,000 feet in the air or 3,000 feet in the air, and you leap off. You get the full experience of the skydiving, that free fall, and then the parachute opens, and you go, you go up. It feels like you're going up, and all of a sudden you're just stopping, and now you're going slower and descending, and now you can sort of steer it. Picture doing that, but knowing you can never get hurt. So you can't die in MegaVerus. And when I talked about having upwards of 5 million people in our space, right? All right, that's where our servers can scale to right now. Who knows where that's going to be down the road? But when you think about those types of numbers and how many people we can get together, it's safe. You don't have to worry about anything. All right, and nobody can die, nobody can get hurt. It's not, there's some metaverses out there where actually, there's some pretty violent stuff that could happen. It's not what we do here. This is the great positive, MegaVerus, right? This is about uplifting. This is about education. This is about business. This is about helping people to really change their lives in a positive way. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. So it's interesting you say that, because I have a daughter who has actually done skydiving. Ooh, and yeah. I think there's a problem with jumping out of a perfectly good plane. So I might, I'm looking forward to doing some skydiving. MegaVerus. I have to say, yeah, we can do that definitely. Here I'm looking at, make sure we got all the basic questions answered. So I wanted to talk to you or ask you about the types of spaces that you're looking to have in MegaVerus. Also, is there a limit on the number of, like, how many lots of land are there? How is it MegaVerus divided? Is it unlimited? If you could tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, no, happy to. So each lot, so we have there's actually about 300,000 lots. However, only 125,000 of those lots are buildable. All right, where you could build a house, where you could build an event center, where you could build a retail space, an office, whatever it is, a tower. And so it is limited. And it's limited because we want to have a community that can be built around the space. All right, we want to make it functional in a way that a large community can be functional, not a super large community like the world per se, right? But a community that can actually come together. And so it is limited. So there's 125,000 buildable lots in space. No one person or company can purchase more than 250 of those, which is one block, one city block, we call it. Okay. And we did it that way for a reason. We wanted to keep the cost very low. Look, Jamal, there's land that's being sold in the metaverse right now for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we want, because we believe that this is so life-changing, what is about to happen here, we don't want a big company coming in. We've been offered money already, all right, to buy huge, huge swaths of land inside of MegaVerus. We said no, because that's not our objective, all right? We're building out a community of people. And that's what we want. We don't want a community of just some big corporation that rents everything out after. Okay, so I'm hoping that I'm answering this question. I'm trying to get all the points to that. So it is limited in size, 125,000 buildable lots. No one person can get more than 250 lots. And what else was part of that question?
Well, I didn't ask this one before, but what's the starting price currently for a lot?
So our lots, so we got 3 different areas of lots. So our standard lot, which is the vast majority of our space, is right now at $2,000 a lot, and it's already doubled from where it launched. When we launched just a few weeks ago, it was half that, and it's going to go up considerably. So if somebody wants to get in, we actually do have payment plans. We've done some different things for people. No loans, by the way. We don't do financing, but we do payment plans if somebody chose to do that. But the whole idea is we want to get a lot of everyday people in. That's why it's not priced way up there. It's going to go up just because as people start to sell their land, because you actually own the land here. So in some metaverses, you can only rent the land. Some metaverses, you can only use the land in the way that they say you can use the land. Okay. And here, as long as you're family friendly, you own the land and you can basically do what you want to do with the land, which is pretty nice. Okay. So that family friendly piece is very important to us, though. We want to have a lot of families here, a lot of, there'll be a lot of children. We want it to be a safe place. And that is something that we're going to ensure. But that's really the key, because this is about education. This is about furthering and bettering society, right? And bringing people together in a great way.
Okay. And so I know a lot of people look at the metaverse as it's tied to cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. So do people have to use cryptocurrency or know about cryptocurrency to buy land in MegaVerus?
So that's a great question, because so we are tied with we are built on what's called the blockchain. So the land, when somebody buys land inside of MegaVerus, they're actually buying land through a smart contract that proves ownership of that land. And that smart contract is recorded on the blockchain. Okay. So that actually happens as you pick your lot. Okay. And here's how that works, by the way. I should explain that, because right now we are in the early stages of, we just released land for sale just a few weeks ago. Okay. And it has been going very, very well. But what we do is, when somebody goes to purchase land, they can literally go to our website and purchase land. So they can go to the link that you guys have on the Lambo Drew site here. They go to that link, they can purchase land just by going onto the site and just go to MegaVerus. Okay. When they do, later on in June, we're actually releasing the full map so people can see where they're picking their land. They're going to know where our coral reefs are that you can go scuba diving in. They're going to know where the wharfs are, because we're actually there's a lot of stuff that's going to be in there. They'll know where the safari is in the space. They'll know where all of these things are, and so they'll say, you know what, I want to be over here, and I want to be over here, and that's what they'll be able to pick their land. They have to own it first. And the way that we did this is basically first come, first serve. So if you're the first person to purchase land, which that's long since happened now, but you will be able to be the first person to pick where your land is. And then it goes from there. So that is going to open up towards the end of June, and the spaces themselves will be getting built out right after that. Okay. So whether somebody wants to have a house, a business, real estate, some experience they want to have built, whatever it is.
Okay. So how would they pay for it? Are they using crypto, or are they using credit cards, or how's that work?
Right now it is you're going to love this. So it's fiat, going back to your last presentation, right? So they can use credit cards. They can use the Utah or the New Hampshire gold backs. We do accept gold backs, by the way. So you guys are talking about those and showing those in the last show. So definitely accepted. And we do also accept cryptocurrency. So if somebody does understand cryptocurrency, they could utilize that as well. So we do multiple different types of currency. And quite frankly, we've got people from across the globe, from as far away as Australia and New Zealand, that have purchased land, from, of course, all over Europe, from South America, from the US, of course, and Canada. So people from all across the globe have already been purchasing land, and they're using different currencies.
Okay. So we have a question from Tracy. It says, can you have an Airbnb in this space?
Tracy, we must be related. I don't know. I'm telling you. So Airbnbs, we call them VB&Bs, and the answer is yes. Not only can you do those, you could. So people are buying more than one lot, right? And what they're doing, and I'll tell you, by the way, why Airbnbs make sense here, by the way, in just 1 second. But we've got people that are buying 4, 5, 6, 10 lots, and they're doing that because they want to build large towers. So they're going to build a large tower. We've got one person that is building a 100-story tower, 4 units per level. All right. And what they're doing, and it's all office space that they're either selling or renting out. Think, what would that cost in the real world? Massive.
Hundreds of millions, billions of dollars.
Yeah, not here. Not here. You could literally do that. And because of our systems and the reason that businesses, I can't share all the businesses that have been coming in that are talking to us, but there's some national and international names that everybody on here would recognize that are coming into MegaVerus. I can tell you that because they've been talking with us. Riddick Bowe, if you remember the boxer Riddick Bowe, he literally just signed on. He is having an entire boxing center built in there, and he's from his time as a boxer. He is he's got a museum of his history, right? His legendary boxing history, and he's also selling NFTs in a gallery there. So there some of the names that one I know I can release. So we've got A-list entertainers. I want you to think about this one. Entertainers that I guarantee you know their names, and they are planning shows here. We have some that are literally building mansions there. Okay, but I want to go back to the Airbnb because that was a great question. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent there, but you get my mind rolling, right? So what's happening is we've got one business that's building almost like if you know what a Regis or a WeWork is, so remote office spaces. So they're going to have probably 1,000 units in that one space that they'll be able to rent out, incredibly inexpensive to build and manage. All right. We actually have a property management system already built into what we do, so they can actually not have to worry about a lot of that stuff. So it really is an amazing system. But the Airbnb, why would somebody do an Airbnb? Why would somebody rent a house in a space that is virtual? I'm going to tell you why, right? So we have all kinds of really cool experiences that are getting built inside of MegaVerus. Now, I told you that there's only 125,000 buildable lots where you could put a business or a house, that kind of stuff. But there's 300,000 total lots. That space is green space. We've got hiking trails. We've got mountains. We've got stuff to explore. We've got a coral reef that you can go through and literally scuba dive around and enjoy. See that incredible aquatic life all around you in a safe way. So if you've never swam before, let's say you don't know how to swim, or you're afraid to go underwater like that, that's okay. You're safe, right? Maybe you're in a headset, but you're going to enjoy the average person, actually any person, let's just keep it that way. Any person that on this planet is going to be able to experience things that they never would have had a chance to do because it's here and it's just below hyper realistic. So they can enjoy life in a whole different way. So people will rent an Airbnb. So somebody wanted to build an Airbnb, yes, whether it's a house, whether it's a condo, a huge condo tower, whatever it is, and they want to rent those out. Because of our smart contracts, going back to that, they can rent it out for 3 days, 5 days, and when they do those, the person who is renting the space will have the key for 3 days or 5 days or whatever it is. And it's because it's all a smart contract. You're going to give them a smart contract for 3 days. They'll rent that space, and now you get somebody that is in let's say the U.S. and they've got relatives in Japan, right? And they've got friends in Denmark, and they all want to be able to get together. Well, guess what? They can all share that Airbnb space, or that VBNB as we call it, virtual business bed and breakfast, right? So our virtual B&B, they can share that space together. Then they can go to shows or experiences together as friends or as family. That's why people would do it. We've got concerts that are going to be in here that are, like I was saying, A-list artists, people that you know the names of. They're doing shows in here. You're going to be hearing about them, and people will come together from across the globe and actually be able to hang out together in a space after the concert, before the concert. That's why people would use a VB&B. Does that make sense?
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So you said that, individuals will actually own the land. It's tied to the blockchain. What about the structures that they're building on top of the land? How does that work?
So they would work with their ambassador. That's where those ambassadors come in, as I was mentioning. So they would work with their ambassador to figure out exactly what it is they want to build, how they want to monetize that, because we have a full v-commerce system built in to MegaVerus. So whatever way they want to monetize it, they'll be able to do so. All right. And so we work through that. And then we help them we actually build out that space. So you were talking about creators earlier, and I forget the person's name. Please forgive me. But you had asked about, do you have to have a college degree or anything else to become a creator? No, we're going to teach you everything you need to know. And then once you know all the stuff that you need to know to be able to create in this space, you'll actually, as people come in through their ambassadors and they say, I want a 50-story tower, and I want to have, an eagle on the top, and I want to have all of these unique things, that is built by these creators. All right. There are not enough creators out there. We actually needed to create a course, a whole system to train people to do all of that. And that's what we've done and what we're continuing to do, because we're going to need a lot.
Yeah. How much is that course currently?
That course is $497. Really, it's technically it's one time, and that's always being updated, by the way.
Wow. So you're not only are you teaching people how to do their own thing, but you're also teaching them the way that you want them done, even in MegaVerus?
The way we want it done in MegaVerus. And quite frankly, the stuff that we're teaching them can translate into other platforms as well. So we don't have any problems with that. We want people to be able to prosper. And so, even when people order, that's why we go internally to all of our creators first. We want to help our creators. And here's the other cool thing, right? So not only, this is so much fun. So not only can you just get me rolling. Not only can you become a creator and build these buildings or build all of these incredible experiences, because we teach you how to do that, but now that you know all of this stuff, you can create items for homes, for businesses. And listen to this, right? Let's say you wanted to create, I don't know, a wooden desk. You can't really see it. There's a wooden desk back there that my grandfather built in 1927. Okay. I'm blessed to still have it. It's a great wooden desk. But that desk, you could build a desk as a 3D asset that can be sold inside of one of the stores inside of MegaVerus. And when it's sold, just like the regular stores, when that sells, and now there's an office or a home that has that desk in it, here's a cool thing. This is one of those secrets I told you I would share. So I'll share this one, right? When you created that item, and now somebody purchases that item from you, and they have it in their home, or they have it in their office, and somebody then goes into that home or office visiting them, and they say, "This is a beautiful desk. Where did you get it?" "Oh, I got it over at this place," right? Because we have furniture stores inside of MegaVerus, right? Well, I got it there, but here, click here, and you can buy it. They'll literally be able to buy it. I told you we're built for commerce. They'll literally be able to buy that item right from your house or your office, wherever you have it displayed. And you know what? Not only is the creator going to get a piece of that, but the person who showed off that piece because it was at their house, they're going to get a little piece of that.
Hold up.
Oh, you didn't know that?
So you're saying if I was visiting your office in MegaVerus and I saw an item that I also would like to have, that because I saw it in your house or in your office, you get a small commission for that, quote unquote, we'll call it referral. And then the other person who actually created it also gets paid.
Yes, that's right.
Wow.
Now the creator gets the most because the creator is the one that actually created it, right? But yeah, think of the power of that. A little piece, just a little bit, but
so that's almost everything. So if I'm walking around in MegaVerus and I see some shoes that somebody has on, and I want them for my avatar, that's the same way it's going to work. If I see clothing that somebody else is wearing and I want it on my avatar, that's the way it's also going to work. So, wow. Yeah, this will definitely make a difference in people's lives. And Tracy asked the question too again. He was like, do you mortgage the payments? So I guess it's more so, and I'll just let you answer that. So it's not that you do a mortgage.
Yeah, we don't. And I've actually been in the mortgage business, by the way. I owned a commercial mortgage agency, mortgage brokerage years ago, and I've done residential mortgages as well. I do not want to get into all that regulation. So we do not do mortgages, very clear. However, if somebody said, "Hey, I want this much land and I want to build this type of a building," we'd say, "Okay, well, this is the cost." And we would just do a down payment and you have a monthly payment on it. There's no interest. It is whatever it is. Okay. And, but it's not a financing. It's literally, it's almost like layaway, except you get to use the space. Nice and clean. No interest. We're not getting into lending. We're not going to look at somebody's credit. Okay. It is non-refundable though when you do that. So if you did not make payments after a time, then you no longer control that land. That's the only thing. But it is not a loan. It's just, it's almost like you're renting the space to own it, right? You rent it until it's paid, then it's just yours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So there's a lot of opportunity in MegaVerus. I am going to, I don't want to neglect Ken, but he's already made a couple comments, and Ken, I can't even answer the question because this is the leverage show. It's not the Jamal show. So I can't dictate when someone's coming back or if they could come back. And I know that Lambo has a serious list of individuals already, but I'm quite sure in the future that is definitely a possibility. And then, if I'm not mistaken, there's something about some tours of MegaVerus in the future here.
Definitely, and I'd be honored to be back on the show if that ever was an option. If Lambo Drew believed that was appropriate, I'd be honored. So tours, yeah. So let me let you know what's really happening. So I've already told you that our actual opening day for MegaVerus itself is October 1 of this year. Okay, and it's coming up fast. It might seem like it's a ways away, but for us, it's coming up super fast. Okay. And so, but there's a lot of people that say, you know what, I can go to some other places and I can look and I can see, yeah, it's not as good a detail. It's not, you know, they don't have all the cool stuff you guys are going to have or that you already have. But we want to be able to go in and we want to take a look before we buy some land, all right, or before we do something there. And so what we're doing is right now we're building out our avatar system. And I don't want to go into all the details there, but you will see it when you go for these tours. These tours are free. Okay. So please, you know, you're thinking about it, you're going to want to book a tour. So watch for details. You'll see it on the Rhino XR Studios site. You'll see it in different places, but we will be announcing these tours. It won't be for the general public. It won't be next week. It's going to start the week after. Okay. And so you'll actually be able to come in and please understand it is early. Okay. October 1st is when we're opening, and we've got a full functionality rollout and build out that goes all the way through 2025 already right now mapped out. So
Okay.
So you're going to see stuff that and hear stuff that is really going to, some of it's going to be there for October 1. Some of it might be January 1. Some of it might be, you know, 2025. This is not a once and done. This is not a, you know, a little project. This is an entire metaverse we're creating, and it is going to continue to grow, not in buildable lots, but in experience and benefit and how it helps people. Okay. So there's going to be a lot that's going to come, but those tours. So what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to go in from a computer or a headset. All right. The initial tours are going to be where we know that most people don't have the headset yet. So we're making them available on PC and Macs. That's going to be the easiest way to go in. You're going to be able to look at the land. By the way, if you go to the link that Lambo Drew put on the page, and Jamal, you put on the page on this broadcast, if somebody goes to that link, yeah, there it is right there. Perfect. Thank you. Somebody goes to that link, what they're going to have is they're going to be able to go into the MegaVerus tab on the top left. And when they click on that, you'll see land, you'll see the information. So our silver lots, the ones that start at 2,000, we've got some other lots that are like, if you wanted the coastline there, they start at 10,000. All right. Cause you're literally, wait till you see our ocean. Oh my gosh. Our ocean, our water is awesome. And it's always warm. Just saying. All right. I come from the Northeast. Warm water matters. Right. So it's, so these tours, you're going to be able to go in, you'll be able to walk around in an avatar. All right. So for these initial tours, you're not going to create your own avatar. We've got 30 avatars that are already set. You're going to pick one. And it's one of 3 different styles that we have. All right. We got male, female, but we got different styles. I'm not going to go into any more details than that. I want that to be a surprise. But when you go in and you check out, you know, you pick your avatar and now you walk in, you're going to land in what we call our central park. And it is a beautiful park. And I am biased, I will admit. All right. I think it's a gorgeous park. But those trees move, the clouds move. It's like you're there. Right. And it's serene. It's comforting. It's a beautiful place. So that's going to happen not next week. Our team is actually going through next week. So our ambassador team. So by the way, if you happen to be an ambassador before next week, then you will have an option to be one of the people that goes in early with the ambassadors to do that. But you don't have to do that. You can wait till the next week. You know, you can wait one more week. It's not a big deal. And we'll open it up to the general public. So okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You got another question.
I was going to say, Ken asked, and if you can, you may or may not be able to at this time. It says, Don, can you give an estimate on the cost to build a 100-room hotel in MegaVerus?
So I can't, but here's the reason. So we have what we call our blueprint buildings. These are buildings that are, we've already pre-built them. All right. And so you could get a building like that very inexpensively because you've already built it for somebody else. Okay. And they're good with that. All right. It's not, in some cases, people want their space copyrighted and they have that space. We're not recreating those. Okay. But the others where it's not, if you don't mind having something that is similar to somebody else, you can get it very inexpensively. Okay, whether it is a 100-story tower, whether it is a platform for skydiving, whether it is a retail space, whatever it is, there's things you can do that are going to be relatively inexpensive. At the same time, you might say, I want this that's pretty inexpensive. Maybe it's a few $1,000, 10,000, 20,000, whatever. I have no idea because it depends on what they want, right? But whatever it is that they want, now they can customize it any way they choose. And those customizations are really where our creators come in. Okay. And sometimes, and here's the fun thing, right? Remember I told you about the furniture store, right? Well, our creator might create a table lamp, right? They're going to be able to put that into the stores in here. And now you say, hey, I want to go get that table lamp because you know what? I need a table lamp in my space right on my desk. And so that creator, of course, gets paid. You get paid if that sells again, like we talked about. But the point is that people can furnish their spaces later, or they could furnish them now. They can brand them now, or they can brand them later. So it depends on what they want to do. And if you're going to build a 100-story tower, as an example, you're going to only build out each space as your tenants are ready for those spaces, right? Because you want it to be fit up for that tenant. And so when you do that, it's usually the tenant that's paying for that. So you build a tower, the tenant pays for that buildup of that space. We keep our creators very, very busy, right? So they all profit. But people get exactly what they want. So did I answer that question? Or did I go off on too much of a tangent?
No, I believe you answered it and then some. And it's funny because Ken's asked some other questions. I ain't going to ask all these other questions he asked because that would take us another hour and a half to get through.
To announce, by the way.
But Tracy said, trust that all his space will be beach area. And then
I know we're going to be related, Tracy, because that's me. I could be in the Caribbean. I'd be a happy guy.
And so Law again asks, it says, once you are done taking all of the training to become a creator, would you become a W-2 employee or a freelancer, which would be a 1099?
So most people who do it will be freelancers. So they'll be 1099s. There will be, because we are hiring people on our internal team, but those are a little bit more advanced when we talk, and we're training people for it, so not a problem. But for real deep builders, and like I mentioned, the C++ programmers, okay? Because we are doing so much build out in functionality. This is not just about walking around a space or seeing something cool. This is about actually making life better. So we're building out some really cool functionality, and we need people to do that. And so those would be W-2s, most of them. I can't guarantee all of them, but W-2s, most of them. But for most of the creators, though, they're going to be freelance, and that's what they want.
Okay. I got to read this one by Ken. He says, okay, you answered it, Don. Thank you. We don't get this kind of access to you, Don. So I want to maximize this opportunity. Thank you so much, Don and Jamal. And then he's up here laughing. He's got the laughing emojis. So he just added, because you're busy is what I mean, is what Ken just stated. So
we are busy, right? We're gonna get it done.
Yeah. Speaking of that, where are what's some times and dates where people could get more information or more of a one-on-one besides, this sort of a segment?
So the real key is, so we've got a couple of different things. So right now we have events going on 3 times a week. These events are about to morph when we do our tours. But for right now, and wait till you see, you haven't even heard about our university. All right, we've got a full university already under construction, and the team built. I'm not even talking about the buildings. I'm talking about how the education is going to be delivered. There's so much I could talk about. But so going back, so right now, every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern time, that's Eastern United States, every Thursday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time, okay, we have it's a workshop talking about land in the metaverse in general, but also in specifically talking about MegaVerus. Okay, so that's one place. That is going to morph as we start to do these live tours, because you don't want to just see somebody on a screen if you can actually go in and be with them and hang out, right? And actually walk around. So those tours will take over for these meetings. And what you're going to do is you're going to when you first come in, you'll end up in our beautiful serene park, all right? And you'll be able to walk over. By the way, we don't really have streets. There's a few sort of streets there, but really they're walkways, because remember, we don't need cars. We do have some flying cars, right? But really, you get around MegaVerus with portals. Makes it very, very easy to work around. But once you get comfortable walking around in the park just a little bit, then we go over to the Rhino XR Studios headquarters. You walk right in. We go up to our conference room, and we can go through. We can answer questions. You can see what an office, what a building, what a business is like inside of the metaverse. You get that option, and so those are about to happen. Like I said, that won't be next week for the general public. That'll start the week after, and those will be announced.
Okay. Looking here, Tracy made a comment, said, would this be a good area for a virtual mental health practice? My wife owns one, and I thought it would be a cool experience. Did you ever thought about a mental health?
We actually have, and the answer is yes. So we've got. I'm gonna share some stuff here. So the whole concept of what we're doing here is perfect for something like that. We've got some people that are setting up spas, that are setting up really places where people can go. Because think about this one. One of the concerns people have if they're, going to, speak with a therapist or speak with somebody because of, any challenges that they're having in life. Right. And, we all have every one of us has challenges in life. Right. We do, just to different extents at different times. We all go through great times and bad times. But a lot of times it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to go for help. Right. But in a place like this, you're going in, you can go in as an avatar. You can go in pretty much anonymously in a way. All right. That might not help with health insurance per se. So we'd have to really sort of work through that piece because, HIPAA regulations and everything else. But literally, if somebody really wanted to go in and get help, they could go in almost anonymously. And the only person in that case that would know who was really there would be the therapist themselves. Okay.
Wow.
And so people can get the help they need without the stigma or the issues that sometimes come with that. Not always. So I don't know if I'm hitting the piece that you're really looking for, Tracy, but yeah, this is a great place for something like that. Definitely.
It's funny. Also, Tracy mentioned, says, you mean you don't have any Lambos in MegaVerus?
Well, we actually have a racetrack. So if you want to race some Lambos on a racetrack, you can do it, just not the streets. Hey, you know,
There's your hat. There's your hat.
Maybe we can get some Lambo golf carts. I haven't thought about that one, but that, you know, you never know.
So what I'm starting to understand more and more, and this is the longest conversation we've had the opportunity to have so far, is this MegaVerus, this great positive space, metaverse space, is going to really be a safe haven. It's going to bridge a gap. It is going to help individuals to have experiences and also business opportunities if and when there's another sort of a quarantine or shutdown for whatever sort of a reason. So really building a bridge for people to continue to do commerce even outside of a regular brick and mortar. So I just see in that sort of aspect, you know, this is a vitally needed sort of a space, because we all have to be able to generate income some sort of way. Mm-hmm. And I believe I recall in some of the other conversations we've had, you said like even coaching has been big, life coaching and teaching of other sorts of things. And there's ways to even put this session inside of the metaverse. Am I right about that?
That's correct.
So program and YouTube videos. I'm thinking about some of the things you said about the concerts and people putting on things to where, you know, maybe they're used to only having access to 100 people or 1,000 people, but in this MetaVerus space, now you have the opportunity to have access to tens of thousands or even millions of people at one particular time. And being involved with like a green screen and certain other things can make it very, it can be simplified and very interactive at the same time. Now you got me thinking about it again. I even remember you said once where if somebody's walking down the street in MegaVerus and they happen to walk past a store, that there can be an automated sort of a bot that comes out and says, hey, why don't you take a look at our furniture store? We have a sale that's running right now on blase, you know, sort of a thing. Wow, this is incredible.
Yeah, and we'll be very careful on the advertising piece, just to be clear on that one too, because we don't want to be intrusive in any way. But those things are definitely possible. We've talked about a lot of different stuff. One thing, you know, you mentioned the positivity just a minute ago. I need to share this. There's two things I have to share in this show. So we have, and you can put these dates down, September 30th, October 1st, and October 2nd. Those 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we are hosting inside of MegaVerus an event that will be a global event, and our push is for over 1 million people to attend this live event. It is a global weekend of positivity. All right. That's also the weekend that we open officially, right? And so the Great Positive opens officially that weekend. So it's very apropos. But so we've got up to 50 speakers right now. We've almost got them all locked in, of some incredible speakers that are going to be teaching about mindset, positivity, everything you can imagine that will really make a difference. And we're going to have ways to translate that into all sorts of languages. So we expect to have over 1 million people in attendance at this one event. All right, so watch for that. You're going to see the information on the Rhino XR Studios site. You're going to see it out there in the news, but definitely plan to attend and share that. By the way, for any ambassadors, anybody that becomes an ambassador, when they share those tickets, they actually get a commission on those tickets too. So there's lots of different ways to profit as ambassadors. Just saying, it's a great thing to be able to do.
Even on those headsets, you kind of
Well,
let slip a little while ago.
you never know. You never know. We've got some really good surprises coming up, and I believe they're really good surprises. But you know, you'll have to make that determination for yourself. I can tell you, I believe they're really cool. There is one other thing, and we can go. You know, I'll answer questions. We can go from as long as you want here. But there is one thing I want to make sure that you know about, and that is that anybody who watches the Lambo Drew show and messages us because of this show, right? What I'll say is you're going just by messaging us, all right, on the Rhino website, okay, Rhino XR Studios website, you will get an entry for a lot of land. No cost, all right? So we're going to give away a lot to somebody who listens to the Lambo Drew show. Now we're actually running a contest. I will tell you this, where you could. So there's one that's specifically for Lambo Drew, okay? And it is, just so you know, it is an oceanfront lot. So it's not. This is a beautiful lot. Okay. So definitely, go to our website, give us your email address and your name. You'll be entered, and you got to mention Lambo Drew in that email.
Lambo Drew Leverage Show, folks.
Yes.
Y'all don't know how huge that is. That's a bare minimum. You said, hold on, you said a beachfront property.
$10,000 per lot is the price right now on those lots. Yeah.
Folks, y'all need to get on there now.
So just send us an email. I was going to create a form of just send us an email. Let's keep it simple. You will get entered in, and one person from the Lambo Drew show is going to win. Now, what we will do is we will send you the rules. We're actually giving away a total of $1 million in land. Okay. This is separate. What we're doing with Lambo Drew is completely separate. All right. So what you can do is when you enter at some point, not too long after you enter, by sending us the email, we'll send you a follow-up email that says, thank you for your entry. You're in the drawing. Okay. But you're also going to get the rules and tips on how you can enter for the whole $1 million of land giveaway. Okay.
Wow.
So yes, you can buy land, you can become an ambassador, property agent, creator, but you can also potentially just win land. So definitely do that.
Man, all I got to say is I love this Leverage Show community. We have guests on here, folks. Not only are they educating and sharing you cutting edge information that's going to change your life. You've seen where other shows, there have been deals that have been cut for the community of this show. And I think to date, and I could be wrong, Lambo will correct me in the future, but I think this is the biggest deal that has been extended to the Leverage Show community. So folks, please take full advantage. Please take full advantage. There's a bunch of hand claps going on. Ken's gone overboard in the emojis of all sorts. The email address, what you want to do is you want to go to the link that's in the chat, and it should also be in the description of the show at some point also. But folks, that's just huge. And I hope you're really taking to heart the information that you're hearing tonight about MegaVerus. Don has been sharing his heart. I think we got a good idea. There's multiple upon multiple opportunities. You are only limited by your own imagination, really. And at this particular time, it's very affordable. because just to start off the rip on a lot of other projects, they're starting off at $20, $30, $40,000 easy, folks. And right now, you know, starting price, don't know how long it's going to last, but it's $2,000 for a lot. And then he even said about payment plans. So you really don't have an excuse if it's something that you're really interested in and would like to be involved in. Ken has put up our current ambassadors eligible, Don, and he's got like this tongue with the faces and laughter emoji and stuff like that.
They're only eligible if they listen to Lambo Drew. That's it.
So you need to send an email also, Ken, through the system to get an entry in there. Oh, Ken also asked, what can we do for you, Don? So what can the community do for you?
The biggest thing you can do for us, and I appreciate you asking that, is really getting the word out. You know, our mission, our purpose goes right back to what I said, which is changing education globally. That's why we're doing this. Yet, you know, it's a business. We'll make money, of course. That's part of business. But that's how you fund really important initiatives. And the educational initiative is so important. Think about what's happening right now. You look at internet as it is getting out there throughout the globe. And now there's still parts of the earth that don't have internet, but now you're seeing places like, well, you know, Starlink, which is through SpaceX, where they have satellites going up, where there's going to be a way to get internet no matter where in the globe you are. Okay. Yeah. It's going to happen. And that's going to make MegaVerus accessible. And so when we build out MegaVerus and the educational platform that goes with it, we'll be able to reach at some point every student on earth, every kid. And by the way, our education doesn't stop at kids. It goes through adults too. We all need to learn. If you're not learning, you're dying, right? You got to move forward. So the most important thing you can do is for us is, one, enter to get some free land, share the news that, hey, we're building something for a purpose. We're changing education, and we're creating the great positive. All right. So support the businesses that are there, even if, you know, land is not something that's of interest to you and you don't want to get into being an ambassador or anything like that. That's fine. When we open, come in. When you see concerts happening, when you see events happening, come scuba diving right around our Great Barrier Reef, right? Check it out, because MegaVerus is an open city. People will be able to come in. There's no cost for people to walk in and tour it. Okay. So you'll be able to come in, you'll be able to go to an experience. So if you want to go to that Italian restaurant, you want to have family together from across the globe to come together. Utilize MegaVerus. Right. That's what you could do. And just share the word, because we're here and we are going to make a difference. And this is an exciting time.
Wow. Wow. Was there anything else that you wanted to share with the community that we should know about MegaVerus?
There's a lot, but there's a lot of things I can't really share just yet. I can tell you, watch our website, watch the events that we're about to release. There are a lot of very big things that are about to happen. You know, I mentioned artists, you know, A-list artists. I mentioned, what was it? In one of the other metaverses, Snoop Dogg did a show to, like, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 people, and ended up with a mansion or a house inside of that metaverse. And then somebody went and spent $465,000 for the house right next to his. Wow. Think about that. Wow. Right? That's going to happen here. Hopefully they'll be able to get it less. All right. But But when somebody buys something, they can sell it too. So it's just like anything else. But the everything is protected with smart contracts. It's protected by the blockchain, and really, yeah, I want to keep some surprises for next time. We've got some really, just understand, we've got some really cool functionality. But just think about what I was talking about with the restaurant. You go in with friends from across the country, order food. You all get food delivered to you, all right, from restaurants that are close to you. That's all tied in. It's all done, all right. And now you get to experience time together in ways you could never do before. I think that's being back together again with family and friends is so important, and we've missed that. I've missed that.
Yeah. I'm thinking about even because I know Lambo on this program, a lot of business owners watch this program, and being able to do meetings like even similar to the gathering in a restaurant, but like a board meeting or a business meeting, and being able to share food around that is huge.
That's a great point, and I will share that because that's so my last tech startup did and launched amazingly, right? And it was what a great experience. I couldn't wait to do it again, right? But one of the things we did there is we had a lot of big events. So I can remember renting out, it was the Lowe's in Miami Beach, and had hundreds of people from the team come in. And we spent, well, put it this way, for the whole event, we probably spent $250,000 that we didn't get back from that event. Corporations spend a lot of money on those types of events. Here, if you're a business owner and you have large groups that you try and get together, sometimes they're working remotely, they can't all come together. You could actually get space inside of MegaVerus. Maybe it's in one of the towers or one of the event centers. We get some incredible event centers. Actually, we just finished building a baseball stadium. Just saying. But oh man, but we have some incredible event centers that are there where you could go in. As a company, you could actually get land. You could actually have your own event center built that fits just for your business. And you could be on an island, which is completely separate from everybody, or you could even have it, because some companies, when they're having these corporate meetings on a regular basis, it's really difficult to bring everybody in. They're paying, the plane fare and the food and everybody coming in. Instead, send your team one of the cool Rhino headsets that are coming out. Oh, did I say that? I did say that, right? One of the cool Rhino headsets that are coming out. Save the plane fare, all right? Have an event that you can do over and over and over again. They only need the headset once, all right? Save the money. Have an event where you can bring people in, and we do set up private spaces on either your server or our corporate servers, where it's just it's partitioned off for you, so that way whatever's covered, there's no recordings from our side, no nothing. Okay, it's all you, so it's secure. It's what you want, so you can have incredible corporate meetings inside of MegaVerus at your own place, or in a separate place that we can build for you. Just check with any of our ambassadors, right, Jamal? And they'll be able to get something like that and run their businesses. And instead of spending $250,000 every time or more, I mean, some of those $750,000, businesses spend a lot of money for that, to bring people together.
Yeah.
You can bring people together. You pay for the space once. Literally, you pay for it once and it's done. Now, all you're paying is server time after that. And that's minor in comparison. So for businesses to be more productive, you can instead of bringing people together once a year for an awards ceremony or a sales conference, whatever it is, you can bring them together once a month, because it's a cost of once the server costs are very low. So sorry, you brought up businesses and you know, and events, and you set me off again, Jamal.
Yeah. Well, I think this last question from Ken might set you off again too, though. It says, last question, will MegaVerus offer NFTs and their own crypto or tokens?
Okay. I was waiting for that. So first of all, yes and yes. So we actually have a partnership with a company called Ace that's doing some of our NFT work. They're also doing some of our ticketing for some of our events and some really cool stuff. Really great platform that they built. But we actually have a whole separate team for NFTs. And unlike some of the other places out there, there's a lot more profit in it for the creators. All right. Because we believe creators should win. They're the ones that created this stuff. Yes, there's profit for the people who sell those NFTs and do other stuff as well. One of the nice things about NFTs is, and a lot of people don't know this, but when you look at the cost of creating NFTs, it's very inexpensive to create an NFT depending on which blockchain you build it on. Okay. And there's lots of different blockchains. A lot of people think, oh, I've got to build it on Ethereum. Well, you can do that. It's just to mint it on Ethereum, it's very costly. Okay. And it's called gas fees that you're paying and stuff. Bottom line is there's other blockchains that you can use that make it much more cost effective. We do mint on Ethereum. We also mint on other blockchains as well. And as far as crypto, yes, there will be, I'm not going to give you all the details, there will be a core currency inside of MegaVerus, which will be a cryptocurrency, all right, that I'm not going to say is going to be fully live for October 1st, but that is on its way. It is coming. And I can tell you that it won't be the only thing we take because we want to be very open, but it will be traded. There'll be information out about it, but it's still pretty early on in that part of what we're building.
Wow.
So great question. Great questions. Yeah.
So I think we may be done for phase one of exposing folks to MegaVerus.
I do have to say, if I can, I want to say hi to Ma'anale. I love her name, right? I know she checked in earlier and she was saying hello, and we've just been talking. I didn't say hello. I want to make sure I said hello to everybody, but you know, I hadn't called her out on that. I just want to say hello.
Yes, Miss Waters is a talented creator. She's into cosplay and I guess maybe a little bit of anime. But yeah, I've had the pleasure of meeting her, and she's an incredible young lady doing some major things with this project. Also, she's an ambassador, I should mention. But yeah, again, folks, remember that the times for the informational sessions and soon to be tours for MegaVerus, which is Tuesday at 8 p.m., which is Thursday at 3 p.m., and then Saturday at 11 a.m., and that's all Eastern Standard Time, where you can get some more information and ask additional questions. You can access that through the link that is on this program here and register for each one of those sorts of sessions. And also get additional information about Rhino XR Studios, all the educational programs that they have out currently, all of the programs that they teach creators how to create in the metaverse. So you're really what Don has put together, him and I'll call him his right-hand man, Robert. They have put together a program by which not only you can learn, but you can be empowered once you've learned in order to change your situation. So this has been another one of these great sessions for the Leverage Show. Folks, I greatly appreciate you sticking with me. You know, I'm just trying to hold the candle to my mentor, business partner, and all around main guy, Andrew Lambo Drew Johnson. And folks, as you've already known, he has made a great impact in all of our lives and is looking to make even more of an impact in the future. But thank you again, Don. I greatly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule this evening to come talk to the Leverage Show community and to share the information. And then, folks, remember, get registered through that email for that property. And then even, if you don't get the one lot, then we still got, the other portion of the $1 million giveaway that MegaVerus is doing. And that, it explains, once you go to the site, it will explain exactly how you can get access to having more entries in the other drawings that are going on. So I hope that, there are multiple winners from the community on different levels, because that's what the possibility is, folks. I'm going to let you have the last words, Don, before we actually close out this session. We have taken actually 2 hours. Wow. It doesn't even seem like 2 hours. That's the thing I love about this show.
It doesn't, not at all. And, I think all of you that are out there, I mean, I saw some incredible comments going across the screens, and really appreciate you, Jamal, and certainly Lambo Drew, praying for him. Having me on here, I appreciate that. And, Ken, some great questions there, Ken and Tracy and everyone. And this has been an honor. So thank you so much. I'm glad I was grateful to be here.
Yes, thank you again, Don. And like I said, I'm gonna put my neck out there, and we will work you into the schedule. Don't know when, but you will be in the schedule in the future.
I will look forward to it.
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you everyone for tuning into this session dealing with the project, the MegaVerus project. Go to the website, go to the link, get more information, figure out where you can fit in, and start to make a change for your legacy and to take advantage of this opportunity. Thank you, and good night to all.
Thanks, all. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.